What's up, everybody? Today we're going to do something kind of different. This one's going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to be worth it. So, what I'm going to do today, because I've been asked a few times now here on this channel, as well as my Facebook page and all that good stuff, I'm going to show you guys how I go about using my CNC and how I go about designing and basically getting a body ready to be cut as far as the design goes on the computer to the CNC. I'm going to be doing just a basic like Strat style shape so that you guys can follow along. It's pretty easy. It does take a little bit of work, but like I said, it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple stuff. Nothing too hard, but it can be tricky at first. Once you got the basics down, though, you'll be whipping things out super fast. So let's get started.
Alright, so I use the Easel software from Inventables. It's a free CAD CAM program that's all based online. In order to get a file, we need to head over to electricherald.com. My computer's old, so I've already got it loaded in this tab. Right here on guitar templates is what we're going to be using. But before we go there, go check out some of the articles and stuff that they have written. A lot of good information. So go ahead and click on guitar templates, and that will bring you to free guitar templates, which is awesome. They do have a shop that you can use to buy already made DXF files and other stuff. So down here at the very bottom we have Fender Stratocaster templates. We're going to click on that guy there and scroll down to this Stratocaster body front. When you click on download, it opens up a PDF window that you can go ahead and click download. As you see right there in some foreign language, it is a scale of 1:1, which is perfect. It is a hardtail Strat, which is just fine by me. I prefer them. So we're going to go ahead and click on download, and that's going to download to our desktop. So now that we're done with that, we can go ahead and click out of that. Like I said, they've got everything from headstocks to the back of the body to the front of the body to a bunch of other stuff. Now what I use is Cloudconvert.com. It converts PDF to a whole bunch of different things. What you would do is you would click add more files, go find your file on your either your desktop or wherever it's saved to. I saved mine to the desktop, and it loads in, and it'll say convert to. I pick CAD and DXF because that's what Easel uses. I'll then hit convert, and it'll take just a little bit, and then it will say download. You click download, and you're done. So let's go ahead and close out of these now that we have everything done, and head over to Easel. As you see here, it's inventables.com/technology/easel, which you don't have to remember all that, because if you click and just type in easel.com, like so, it takes you to the exact same website, inventables.com/technologies.easel. Easel has not paid me to say anything like this or do this demo, so this is all just me doing it. So you open a new file. You do have to sign in, but that's fine. I already know that I already put these dimensions in. My body blank is 21 by 13.175 by 1.875. If your body blank is different, obviously you're going to put in your dimensions. So you put those dimensions in, and right there on the previous slide, it shows what it looks like. So we go over here to import DXF file, upload file. You know, find it on your computer. It's not showing the little window because I'm using, oh, actually, yeah, it does. Well, anyways, so you'll select your files. I guess this is the part it doesn't show it on. You'll find it, you'll click it, and you'll hit upload right there. When it uploads, you'll see the the PDF is now in DXF form. Looks exactly like the PDF. And you press import. Now that it's imported and on your workpiece, you can see that this is a CAD drawing. So this is basically a drafting drawing. So you see all the circles and stuff. I highlighted these words and it selected the body as well. So I'll deselect the box by holding shift and clicking on it and then hitting delete. Same thing again. Select it, shift to click the body and hit delete. Now I'm going to delete a bunch of these lines that we don't need, leaving us with just the body and the pockets, the neck pocket, the pickup pockets, and the control cavity. So let's go ahead and speed this part up, and I will talk to you a little bit more about it as we are going. But this is what we do. Just a lot of deleting at this point. Alright, so a couple more things to delete here and we can get started on everything. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete these screw holes, and the reason I'm deleting them is because not all necks are screwed onto the body in the same spot. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, I've had so many used necks that I tried to use that I had to either plug the hole in the neck and re-drill because the neck holes didn't line up with the body holes, and so I would much rather start with no holes. Now this piece right here is actually the neck pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this end point here way up here to right next to this guy, and I'm going to drop it right there and grab the next end point, that white one right there, and I'm going to drag it over to this guy, and I'm going to join those two so that this is now one solid piece instead of just a line. So I can now click on this and click on clear out path. That makes it to where, or clear out pocket, excuse me. That's going to go to a 0.67 inch depth, which is 5/8, which is Fender's standard neck pocket depth. So now what we'll do is we'll take this endpoint, we'll drag it way up here to this guy, and let it meet up with that one. And we can go over here, instead of cutting on the shape, we're going to cut on the outside of the shape. You see the body shift there, so now it's cutting the outside of the shape, so everything is properly shaped. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the body and the neck pocket. At the same time, we can press shift and click on both of those, clicking and holding shift. Coming to our apps and intersect, and click off the remove top value, and now it doesn't have all that excess hanging over the top. We'll click on the body and bring that to the very front, and we can start working on this fragmented pickup cavity. Being that it's all fragmented, we won't be able to do like this and clear out pocket to where it's making a hole instead of a line, which is what we want, is a hole. We're going to change these depths to 1¼ inch, so 1.25. Same with this guy. I'm going to clear out the pocket, which we already did, and the depth to 1.25. Now I'm going to take this here and click my line tool which is a drawing tool, and I'm going to zoom in really close so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to start here, and I'll click to add an endpoint, click to add an endpoint where it changes direction, and click again where it ends, changes direction. And then I'm going to go way up here to click on that guy up here to where the curve starts and where the middle of the curve is, and then where the curve ends. And then again we'll follow it down until it changes direction. Click there because it changes direction. And again the same thing where the curve starts, middle of the curve, and end of curve. And then we'll follow it down to where it changes direction again. That red line is saying that you are in a directly straight line with the other endpoints that it's going to. So middle of the curve, end of curve, and then down to where it changes direction, which will be start of curve, middle of curve, and then end of curve. Follow it down to changing direction. Now, if you ever get caught up on those red lines and it's kind of making you jump to where you don't want to be, if you press and hold down Alt while you're moving around, those red lines will disappear and it's basically that snap to grid will disappear. Happens to me right here. It's wanting me to be either there or there, and I don't want it in either spot. So I'll hold down Alt and I'll put it in the middle right where I want it to be.
Okay,
and
so
close it off, and now
got
we
half
have
the
this
video
super
done,
jagged.
and my laptop's kind of old, so it has to be plugged in. Got halfway through the video, and unfortunately my laptop got unplugged, so I lost the first half of the video. So that first part that you just saw was actually the second time I recorded it. So what you're about to see, some things are a little bit different. You're gonna get some extra like stuff I already did on the first half of this video. I'm gonna actually do again on the second half, just because there's two different things, just so you guys aren't confused. So let's get back into it. Don't be confused if stuff looks different. That's why I'm stopping you now and explaining what's going on. Why is it different? This is why. My computer is old. It sucks. It got unplugged. I lost the video. Here we go again. So keep going.
Alright, back to where we left off. I'm going to move this out, and I'm going to zoom in. Like I said, it looks a little different now, but don't worry, it's the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the shape that we just drew with the drawing tool, and we're going to click endpoints. And what we're going to do is going to click on an endpoint and turn it into a curved endpoint. What I do then is I move these spline curvy things to try to basically match the black line. I can also grab these, again holding down Alt, turning the red line snap off. I can take it to where it matches the black line and makes it to where it is on the same path, so that it matches up. Like I said, it's an easy fix. There's nothing that is like, oh my gosh, I ruined everything. You don't have to do that. So again, clicking the curved instead of the straight in, and then clicking and holding and dragging out where the curve goes, it takes from a sharp jagged point to a nice rounded curve and matches pretty much the black line. We're going to do that for all of these. Let me fix this little squiggle that's out. And again, we're going to make this look right, because it doesn't look right. It doesn't match, and I want mine to match what we found online. So, curved, take the little white ones that are attached to that blue one and basically try to match the curve of the black line. So when it's curved, when you click on the endpoint, you see those two little white lines jot out. When it's a straight and you click on it, those two little lines that jot out are not there. Again, so like I said on my first video, I added one too many splines here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that, move this guy up where it should be, and keep editing, changing each one of these from a straight to a curved, and then matching the curve of the black line with the gray line. Now the reason it's gray and not black is the black is being cut to the full depth of the body itself, which is not going to be what we do. We're actually going to cut it shallower. And the reason it's gray is because it is shallow. Now what I'm doing here is I'm clicking those black lines. Some of them are kind of hard to see, but if you click on them and watch the blue shape, you can actually see that it's the blue box that comes up around it. You can see that it's got just the black lines. We're going to delete those black lines now because we don't need them. Now that that's done, we can go ahead and change it to clearing out a pocket, which in the other video you saw me do with that control cavity. But again, I'm having to do that now again because this is the result of my first video that I lost. Again, you're going to get some extra kind of bonus reviews. Same thing with this guy. We know that this is the neck pocket. The reason I know is because, well, I just moved it. And because I moved it to a weird location, if I press Control Z, it undoes that move and puts it back to where it's supposed to be. And again, I do the same thing that I did previously. Actually, this one is previous. But what I do is I'll take the endpoint that is furthest down here, and I will move it really close up to this guy up here to keep the same angle. And then I will take the furthest endpoint here and move it over to this guy and snap it together. Now once it's snapped together, we can change it to clearing out a pocket. Actually, it did not connect. There we go. Now it's connected. Ta-da. Oh, I said connect. Haha. So now that it's connected, again, wait, you little... Okay, so we're going to zoom in to make sure this thing really gets connected this time. So we zoom in and click on endpoints, and we make sure that these two endpoints become one endpoint. And now that they are one endpoint, clear out pocket. There we go. That's what we wanted to see, is when it turns black like that, because that means it's cutting out the big hole. You can see on the right side. But again, 0.67, because we know that that is the depth of a Fender neck pocket, which is 5/8 of an inch thick, or deep, I guess. And then we can come down here and do the same thing with the body that you saw previously. Clicking on the body, clicking on the endpoint, and matching up those endpoints to meet each other into one continuous endpoint. There we go. And once that's connected, we can click on this guy and click on the outside shape to cut on. Oh, they are not connected. So if you don't actually have them connected, it will tell you you've imported an SVG that is just a line. You need to actually close that line. So we will zoom in real close, and we're going to click the body, and we're going to click endpoints again, and oh, yep, that did not connect. So we need to connect it to the next endpoint. So what we can do is grab the next endpoint and drag it up to where it meets the body. Now that it meets the body, we can try again to cut the outside of the shape, and if you notice, it just shifted a little bit to cut the outside of the shape, which is what we want. Now we can come back down here and reset the depths. These guys I'm not going to use. I deleted them in the last of the channel, but what I'm doing here is I'm highlighting all of them, holding down shift and clicking the body and then hitting delete. That deletes everything but the what we have selected. So again, resetting the step to 1.25 and resetting this depth to 1.25 as well. I believe I don't know how deep I have the neck pocket set to go, but that's okay. So we're going to go over here and change our bit from 1/16. We're going to click on other, and we're going to make it a 0.25, which is a 1/4 inch bit. I use a 1/4 inch white side 2-flute upcut bit. That is a mouthful. Yes, I know. So what we do next is we come over here to our right side, which is our preview, and we get this big caution. Inventables hasn't tested this combination of material and bit. You may need to experiment to find optimal settings. The biggest thing on this is find a chip load calculator, which I will go over in the next episode in this series. Real quick, I'm going to go back and do the intersect on the neck pocket and the body, just so that we're not wasting time by cutting stuff that we don't need to cut. Remove top value. That gives us the body and the neck pocket itself, and it is now one piece. So again, bring in the body under edit, bring to front, and that makes it the kind of the priority cut. Now we have a flat top Strat style body that's looking pretty good, but I would like to put in an arm bevel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and experiment real quick, which let's see what we can do. So we're going to just draw a line right here, which basically is the line that I would like to keep it to the bevel on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of outline the shape of this bout here, and again it's going to be kind of squared off, but it's just going to be a line. It's not going to be a an actual shape. It's just a line. So we're going to go through and make all of these straight endpoints into curved endpoints, just to kind of somewhat match the shape of that bout. Drag this one in again, doing our best to kind of keep the rough idea of the shape. So now I'm going to select this straight line with the curved line and go into our apps here, and we're going to come all the way down to the very bottom, super gradient generator, and it's going to pop up here, and that kind of looks like what I want, but I can already tell this is not what I want. I think what may have happened, not positive, but what may have happened is I have the straight line below the curved line. So I'm going to click the straight line, and I'm going to come up here to edit, not file, bring to front, and then again selecting both lines back into our super gradient generator. And let's see how that looks. And that's not right either. Let's see if I can fix it. Probably not, though. Yeah, that's not right at all. That does not look like what we want. And I think it's because it's a curved line. But I know a way to do this super simple, and I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place. So, what we're going to do is actually close out of this. We're not going to use that. We're going to delete that curved line. No, not move that straight line. We are going to delete that guy. We're going to take this guy, copy, paste, and put it out here. Actually, there is a much simpler way to do even this. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and delete that one. And we'll delete that one as well. Go back in here to our apps and scroll all the way down to this Bezier slope. I don't know what it's called. We're going to make it to where it's long. We want the depth. I'm going to only go to 0.5 of an inch, which is just a half-inch slope. So it's going to end at a half-inch deep. We're going to flip this guy around, or I guess not flip it around by unclicking it. And scroll down here and hit import. Simple as that. Now we've got this big giant slope here right in the center. So we're going to select everything. Again, holding shift, click the body, and that makes it to where it's off the body. And we can now slant this around and pull it up to where it's going to rest. Now, I like the look of it somewhat, but something is off. I think it's too far down on the body, so I'm going to actually make this a little bit wider so that I can fit it actually more across the arm. I'm going to bring my body to the very front under edit, and now I can actually see where it's going. I can come over here to the preview. I'm going to actually open this up a little more so I can see it, and I can, and that looks not bad, but looking down the center of it, that is not really what I want. So what I'm going to do again, select everything, but did not get the body that time. That was pretty awesome, so I don't have to go in and hold that body. I'm going to bring this down closer together, which basically makes it to where I know for a fact that it's going the full half-inch deep. And I'm going to bring it up because I want it to be at the center line where that arm bevel starts. And I'm going to scrunch it together just a little bit more, kind of just giving it where I think it looks right. And again, it's still not quite where I want. If you take this one line that's out across the top, that actually rotates it, and that looks a ton better. Way better. I like that a lot. If you notice, it is in steps, but that's okay. I'm going to show you guys how to fix that. Select everything, go to intersect, do the same thing we did with the neck pocket. Unclick the remove top volume, and now it is intersecting. It cuts all the rest away. Bring the body to the front, and it cuts just that arm contour, and that looks fantastic, just the way we want it. Again, it's in steps. You can see the lines kind of cut into it. There is ways of changing that to make it smoother, but it will take a lot of time on the CNC because it has to go through and smooth those. Now, speaking of time on the CNC, we're going to finish admiring our hard work here and show you exactly what I mean by time on the CNC. So now that we have everything kind of looking the way we want it, we can move this back over here and make sure that that is set. What I'm doing here is I'm checking to see the scale of everything. So by clicking on that, you can see over in that this area here, it says size. If you look right here, 2.216 of an inch. That is obviously the shorter. If you click on millimeters, you can see now it says height, but it actually means width because it's weird. It says 56.3 millimeters, which if you go and look at most Fender spec necks, they're between 56 and 57 millimeters, depending on year and all that good stuff. So 56.3 is actually perfect. It gives me a little bit of wiggle room that I can actually work with. So let's see how long this thing is going to take. 8 hours and 39 minutes. That's not going to work for me. That's way too long. And the reason being is right now that is using Easel's automatic feed rates and plunge rates, which is way too much. So I'm going to click on manual. I know that I run my chip load at 175 inches per minute, which is way more than what they had. The plunge rate I'm going to change to 12, and my depth per pass I'm going to change to 0.075 of an inch, and then click simulate again, and that takes that 8 hours down to 49 minutes. That is awesome. That's exactly what I need. Less than an hour to cut out this body, and while it's cutting out, I can be doing something else, working on a neck, working on another body, or whatever I need to do. Maybe go have a cup of tea and come in and hang out with my wife in the other room. So all those red lines, the red lines are when the bit is up, the blue lines are when it's actually in the wood. So you can see exactly what it's doing. If you bring this up, hide material, you can actually see it is cutting down into the wood. That's why it is blue. Pretty cool stuff. You can actually watch those in real time if you slow it down, but that's sped up to 32 times the speed. So from there, all we got to do now is get this actual wood set up onto the CNC, but that's going to be next time in the next video. So
all right, so now that it's all set up, ready to go, what we're going to do now is in this second video, it's going to be a part 2. I'm going to actually take a body blank here and show you how I set it up on the machine, how I dial in the machine to get where I want it to cut, and what you have to do using that type of machine in particular. So stick around, see you guys next time. Again, thanks a lot for checking out this video. If you haven't yet, click the subscribe button, turn the bell notification on, because I do periodically go live. I'm going to be doing that more often. I'm looking at getting better video quality for our live streams, because that last one was terrible, I know, but unfortunately I don't have the amount of subscribers to go live from the camera that I'm using currently, which, as you can see, is a much better quality. So that means subscribe to this channel so we can get better live streams, because that will be awesome. So like I said, stay tuned, stick around, see the next one when it comes up, and have fun. Keep building guitars.